What you're about to hear is presented exactly as it was shared with us, unedited, except for the context you need to follow it. Every encounter and piece of footage comes directly from the original witness, their families, or their estate. We verify each story by confirming dates, locations, and details against public records, environmental data, and topography. And we inspect original photos and videos to confirm authenticity and provenance. Names are shown as given, unless a witness requests anonymity. Bigfoot hunter returns for his childhood monster. This witness searched for 22 years to confirm his boyhood experience, armed with a camera to prove that what he saw as a child was no figment of his imagination. Bigfoot is as real as you and George made it his life's mission to prove it. And finally, he did, with one of the clearest videos of Bigfoot I've ever seen. This is his story. By day, I'm a man in a suit and tie, an accountant armed with a briefcase. But in my free time, I'm what you might call a Bigfoot hunter, armed with cameras and tracking devices of every sort. I've spent my life collecting reports, interviewing eyewitnesses, and filing away a library's worth of encounter stories, photos, and plaster casts of footprints. And it's all because of two personal sightings I had in the White Mountain National Forest in New Hampshire. Yes, two. The first was when I was 11 years old. We were out camping and I'd gotten up to pee in the middle of the night. But when I stepped out of the tent, I walked right into a Sasquatch staring down at me. I remember it like David's Goliath, a colossal giant towering over me, and the stink, like rotten leaves and bog water. I think I scared him as much as he scared me. He jetted back into the woods without any drama and barely a sound. It was just gone. That's the moment that changed me forever and started this double life of a dutiful, clean-cut, suit-wearing number cruncher who throws on camo and treks through the backcountry mud every chance he gets. So, fast forward to the late 80s, and I'm back at White Mountain. It was very early in the morning, and I'd just put in a fresh battery. I had the camcorder in one hand and a cup of tea in the other when out of nowhere, I dropped that cup of scalding tea all over my boots and had some pretty nasty blisters there the next day. But at least I got him. I must have looked like a real buffoon at that moment. My jaw was on the floor, tea steaming over my shoes, trying to be as quiet as possible while getting burned alive, and holding the camera in front of me like a complete novice who'd never held a camera in his life. But honestly, nothing prepares you for this kind of thing when it finally happens, no matter how many times you run it through your mind. I captured the footage of a lifetime, but I won't lie to you. I came down the mountain feeling a little disappointed. Oh, don't get me wrong. This footage is the crown jewel of my collection. It's a marvelous piece of evidence from any angle. But here I was, in the presence of the great beast that I'd spent the majority of my childhood and my entire adult life obsessing over, and it just strolled past without acknowledging me at all. No sign of recognition, no nod from afar. And yet, this Bigfoot, or wild man, Sasquatch, whatever you want to call it, he was my entire life's obsession, and almost certainly the same one that made me soil my pajamas as a kid. I felt forgotten, like a family member had cut contact with me. I know, I'm idiotic for my sentimentality, but I can't help myself. Many of my fellow Bigfoot hunters have seen this clip. I've never exactly hidden it from anyone, but I've also never released it into the wild, as we say. But it's time that I start making my collection of evidence available to the wider public. So why not start with my proudest moment? I didn't just find Bigfoot, I found the same one twice. It's the shot of a lifetime, wouldn't you say? That first fleeting meeting, lasting only a few seconds, began George's lifelong search for the truth. It's certainly one of the clearest pieces of Bigfoot footage I've ever seen, in spite of the shaky handheld camera. If you're enjoying this video, now's a good time to hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe to Monster Myth for more exclusive footage and verified encounter stories. And now we move on to an account from an unwilling eyewitness, someone without any real prior interest in or exposure to cryptids, but encountered one all the same. To allow us to confirm his credentials and the backstory behind his encounter, this man did provide us with his full legal name, location, and professional affiliations, but ultimately, he asked us to withhold that information from the public, so all identifying details have been changed, including the university where he spent most of his career. We'll call him David, and here is his story, in the actual words of the unwilling eyewitness himself, with a voice reenactment provided by a local actor. Old Mossyback of Big Thicket.
I'm an entomologist working primarily at Lamar University in Texas for more than 30 years. Back in '89, when I just stepped into the role of professor, I went into Big Thicket National Preserve to study moth migration. Armed with my trusty net, a camera borrowed from the film department, and a glass habitat that took up the entire back seat of my beat-up Honda, I went there for the moths. Now I swear, I'm not some crazy kook. I wasn't there to hunt down ghoulies and ghosties like some stoked-out hippie. I'm a scientist, a facts and figures kind of guy. But fact or not, I know how crazy this is going to sound. And for my entire academic life, I couldn't have my reputation marred by what I saw that day in the middle of fall. I set up camp with a lot more difficulty than I expected. I'd never erected a tent before in my life, so the inordinate amount of time spent fiddling with the canvas took more time than I anticipated. So much time, in fact, that I nearly missed sundown when the moths came out of their hidey holes. I must admit, I was in a hurry to get to the cover of trees where the specimens were, and I wasn't exactly paying attention to much more than what was in front of me. But when a huge, hairy figure crossed my eye line, my knees nearly buckled out from under me. My hands were shaking and fumbling with the unfamiliar equipment, but I did the best I could to catch this thing on tape. Maybe you'll look at it and tell me I'm imagining things, but I swear, that looks like Bigfoot to me, or old Mossyback, as my father used to call it. I don't think it was a bear. Its arms were too long, and from what I could tell, it was about 9 feet tall. But hey, what do I know about mammals? I'm an insect guy. It occurred to me that my cowardly dive for cover into the tall grass might have just saved my life. From down low, I probably wasn't visible to the creature from that distance away. My heart was beating so hard that I could feel it reverberate inside my skull. But I had to shove that terror down and focus on being as quiet as humanly possible. I lay there for another 20 minutes or so, just to be completely safe. When the cricket song started up, I grabbed what I could and headed out of there as fast as my little Honda could go down the dirt road. I suspect that someone found my brand new tent later on, because I didn't take the time to disassemble it. I reported the sighting to the rangers that same evening, and I tried to show them the footage, but they regarded me as another one of those crazy kids who'd had too much to drink. They barely took 5 minutes to listen to me. They told me not to waste their time and headed back out to their trucks, leaving me standing there with the tape still on the counter. They didn't even bother to take a look at it. So I did the only thing I could do. I pocketed it. And now it's been gathering dust on the bookshelf in my home office for the past 36 years. I never knew what to do about it. The authorities obviously weren't interested, and there was no internet back then. So there were no Bigfoot believers chat rooms or social media or anything. If I started showing it around to people back then, my reputation would have gone up in smoke. It haunted me for a few years, and then eventually I just had to move on with my life. I've never gone back to Big Thicket again, and I don't plan on changing that anytime soon. Call me a coward if you want, but there are plenty of young, determined Bigfoot hunters out there who will do a better job of hunting this thing than a guy who collects bugs for a living. But at this point, I just need to know that someone out there believes me. This thing's been gnawing at me for nearly 4 decades, and I can't sit on it for any longer. At least now it's out there. You can make of it what you will. And maybe this is all the validation I need to finally get some peace of mind.
So, what do you think? Was it old Mossyback who gave David a scare in Big Thicket all those years ago? Comment below and let him know what you think of the footage he's kept hidden away. Thanks for watching. Until next time.